Anyone know In Bruges, written and directed by Martin McDonagh?
Harry,
What?
it's an inanimate fucking object.
You're an inanimate fucking object!
So when I heard of his new movie coming out with the same two guys, Colin Farrell and Brendan Gleeson, that is, I was going. Even if I had to skip class to do it, I didn't have to, but I would have. And now I have seen it.
Yeah, well, that's just like, your opinion, man.
I'll admit, not exactly what I was expecting going in. Although, now that I look back, I'm actually not entirely sure what I was expecting, because the movie is exactly what I should have been expecting. A darkly hilarious movie that leads you into thinking it's a funny hangout movie at first, slowly revealing its true colors as a depressing, even disturbing movie with a lot of darkness. If you don't actually know what this movie is, let me read the IMDb logline for you here. Two lifelong friends find themselves at an impasse when one abruptly ends their relationship, with alarming consequences for both of them. Basically, Brendan Gleeson is like, you know what, man? You're boring, and I'm getting old. I don't want to hang out with you anymore because it's a waste of the years I have left. And Colin Farrell's character is deeply offended by this. And then it gets a bit wild after that. One thing I have noticed over the years of going to see movies in theaters is that you sort of end up judging a movie twice. First is when you're watching it. Second is in the days afterward. Sometimes you watch a movie and you forget about it hours later. But sometimes, and it's getting real rare, but sometimes you walk out of that Regal and you get in your car and you drive home and you go to bed, and then you wake up from bed and you go to class, and then 57 hours go by and you realize the movie is still lingering in your head. It just won't leave. When a movie is still lingering in your head days later, that means something. For Banshees, when I was actually in the theater, I had a certain level of disappointment start to wash over me throughout the runtime. I guess I was going in expecting the same awesome back and forth comedy dynamic from his other movies.
You fucking retract that bit about my cunt fucking kids.
I retract that bit about your cunt fucking kids.
You insulted my fucking kids.
I was going in expecting In Bruges 2, except it wasn't In Bruges 2. It was The Banshees of Inisherin. And The Banshees of Inisherin was really good. It's twisted in the weirdest ways. There are scenes that make you feel guilt for laughing at in retrospect once the third act swings around. It leads you on thinking this is a lovely little Irish island, but by the end, there's a sense of captivity or madness to living on this island. The movie has something to say by the end. Maybe not necessarily a statement, but it gives you this dilemma to think about. Should you spend your life hunkering down to do something worth being remembered for? Or is it okay to simply drink your life away at the pub with your buddies? I think Martin McDonagh is asking this question about himself as an aging artist. He doesn't give an answer, but what I really appreciate about this aspect of the movie is that it's an example of a writer getting very personal in his writing. It's an example of how doing this can elevate the work to a new level. That, along with a bunch of twisted and demented ideas, make for a pretty fantastic script. Should I do ratings for these? I'm not sure. Ratings are kind of weird. Banshees of Inisherin gets an 8.5 out of 10. But what you really want to know is if you should watch it. And the answer to the question of if you should watch it is yes, you should.
You do like me.
But what the hell do I know?
Shut the fuck up, Donnie.